2020, especially the first half, was very challenging with the COVID-19 impact, which is like, we're having like, triple jeopardy in Saudi Arabia with the reduced oil prices as well as the reduction in the interest rate. This was, compound with the COVID-19 impact. So I always say that, COVID-19 was not a test to the healthcare system worldwide, but it was more of a test to the governance system. And that's why we're in Samba. Thank God we have one of the best frameworks in terms of the business continuity as well as the risk management framework. So when the pandemic has been announced, we were all in compliance with all the regulatory requirement, and within couple of days, we were having 70% of our staff capacity working remotely, but they were not standing still doing nothing. They were in a closer contact of our clients, especially the mostly impacted by the COVID-19 in the retail sector, in the hospitality sectors, in the contracting sectors and others, to make sure that they have resilience toward recovering and responding and recovering, as well as to see how all these announced government stimulus can help them towards sustain their business going forward, in addition to taking care of the safety and security of everyone. So if you see our balance sheet and our income statement in Q1 this year, it shows an increase in our credit provisions, which was double from the credit provisions that we took in Q4 last year. And this is not only in compliance with IFRS 9 requirement, but we also proactively building our reserves to make sure that we're ready for any surprise.
Rania, let me follow up on the credit quality and what that suggests in terms of a potential economic recovery. Where are you on the spectrum of the alphabet soup? Are you a V-shaped recovery person, or are you more on the side of a W or a U, or which one would you have to pick?
Yeah, the way I see it, that it's a U shape with a slow recovery. So yes, we started to recover in the second half of 2020, but we are seeing full recovery towards the end of 2021.
Can I just follow up quickly and also ask, do you expect the government to put out more stimulus measures? Would you say that still more accommodation is needed?
We are in close contact with SAMA, our central bank, as well as the Debt Management Center and the Ministry of Finance. And I'm sure that, at the government level, they are reviewing the impact of all these stimulus, which really help in managing the impact and preventing, the economy from slowing down further, as what we have seen in other countries. And now those stimulus packages, especially the ones from central bank, will last till September this year. And before that, while reviewing our SMEs across all the banking sector, we will see if there's a need, and we are in continuous contact with our regulators.
You are the chair of the G20 Empowerment Alliance. It's something that's very close to your heart. And I just want to get a sense of the progress that's been made so far.
Yes, this is really one of the dear subjects to my heart, which is women empowerment. Empower is a private sector alliance of women economic representation. This alliance has been announced in Osaka last year, and it was launched under the Saudi presidency this year for the G20. And as you know, one of the key themes of the G20 under the Saudi presidency is empowering people, and especially women and youth, because it's at the heart of the economic progression. And without empowering women, now we're no longer want to prove how women empowerment and more inclusive decision-making can help the economy. However, we believe that there's very slow progress in that. Women in leadership position have increased only worldwide by 8% over the last decade. So the Empower Alliance is basically a private sector alliance that comprise of a network of CEOs representing all the G20 countries. And we are working together to work on two things, main things. One is a stock take report on where we are in having women in leadership positions in the private sector across all industries, and what are the best practices that help in accelerating and opening pipelines for women in private sectors to get into the leadership positions. And we will present that report in the next G20 summit.
How do you take some of those ideas and you implement them at Samba? I know you've already helped shape a lot of the change on that front, but what else would you say is in the pipeline? What are some of your other targets internally at the bank for that?
Internally in the bank, we have recently signed the UN Women Agreement back in March, and we are working, in an environment that has the culture. In Samba, Samba is different from other private sector institutions in Saudi Arabia because women empowerment is part of its culture. Women empowerment we're not talking here about policies or about changes or about creating quotas. It's more about the culture that you have in an environment to help a female to unleash her potential. So it's not a matter of adding more women to the pipelines, but basically to creating an equal opportunities, whether it's at the pay structure or at leadership structure or at the hiring. So by giving equal opportunities for male and female, this what will help an organization grow. And being a female CEO of a bank, it's not that it didn't came like, all of a sudden. I've been working in this bank over the last 20 years. And as I told you, it's more of the culture that give confidence to women, that tell them that you do matter, that you have to be on the front seat and you have to sit on the table, not on the back seat, and voice your opinion. And we will welcome that.